And the first thing to look for is the area right behind your optic chiasma. You should have a remnant of the infundibulum, which will be represented as a hole into the brain, where the cerebrospinal fluid would have gone down the infundibulum to the pituitary gland.
I see.
So this can also be used as a way to identify the infundibulum on the practical. But we've seen the infundibulum, we've talked about that. Behind the infundibulum, you should have this sort of V-shaped area. That's the mammillary body.
That's
There are
right.
a number of functions you can read about in your book. So that's going to be a fairly small area right behind the infundibulum.
Is it this area?
People good with that? You help? Okay. I'm happy to come around and help. Several functions you can identify, but one thing you should be able to find attached to this, and again, depending on how your dura mater came off, it may be easier or harder to spot, but you want to look for these flat sheets, these sort of ribbons or little pieces of pasta that stick off, one on either side. So you can see I'm lifting them each up right here, a left and a right. These are the oculomotor nerves, or cranial nerve
Can
3.
you go down some? Like, are they these?
And as the name suggests, they're involved in the movement of the eyes. So they're involved in the muscle movement that allows your eyes to follow an object. So when you go to the eye doctor and they do that thing where they have a pen or their finger and you have to follow it around different ways without moving your head, they're testing for the functionality of your muscles, but also for the functionality of the nerves that control those muscles, which would be, these are not the only ones that do that, but these are a major one involved in that process.
Can you show them one more time?
Sure.
Which ones are those?
So your peduncles, so here's your mammillary body. The peduncles are the area on either side. And then attached to the peduncles, you have these little flaps that I can lift up. Those would be the oculomotor nerve. So there's the one on one side, and here's the one on the other that I can lift up with the probe. So each of those would be the oculomotor. It's 2 or 3 millimeters wide. The exact length of it will vary depending on how much was attached to your dura mater when that got pulled off. But you should have at least some remnant of it. And on some brains you might have both, some you might only have one, depending on how the animal was prepared, shall we say. So there may be some differences. You may not have both, but this one was nice because actually both of them attached.
Where's that?
The peduncle, not the
And
nerve.
again, the oculomotor nerves are on the cerebral peduncle, so they come out of that.
They're on it.
Okay, so it's attached to the back.
Yeah.
The last couple of items to identify on this view then are the pons and the medulla. The pons is going to be right behind the peduncles, and you'll have a sort of circular oval region. This one's not great because it's not dyed quite as well, but typically like the sulci, you'll have some dark lines that sort of surround it that make it a little easier to see on either side. And then the medulla oblongata is going to be the larger area behind.